Okay, so in this one, what we're going to do is teach you a little bit about capacity. Capacity to feel and express your emotions affects every part of your life and the most important parts of your life, like relationships. When you reach a life lesson moment, which normally comes up in relationships, especially loving ones, it's usually there to test your capacity for love. And it doesn't always look that way because usually there's other emotions involved, usually negative emotions. Those are the ones that we get stopped up on. Those are the ones that we get a little frustrated with and stuck on. Now, in my experience, it's about 90% of the time anger. And anger is a really tough emotion, and most of us don't have a lot of capacity for it. So when we get into some different intensity of anger, there's a lot of different versions of anger, but they're all the same emotion, technically. But we classify them in different intensities. So we'll go from, bugged, frustrated, mad, angry, livid, rageful, pissed off. We have so many different categories. They're all the same actual emotion when you boil it down, and the physical sensation is usually the same thing. All right. Yours might be a little different than somebody else's how you experience it, but it's usually going to be a similar physical experience every time you interact with it. So, what you need to understand is when this happens, we go into fight or flight mode. And with anger, depends on who you are. Women are more likely to switch into sadness, which is the flip side and more appropriate side of anger. But not always common. A lot of women are real good at getting into the fight mode as well. Anger is more masculine energy, so for men, it's more of a masculine thing, but there are a lot of men that are not good at it, and they have a lot of more feminine tendencies and will drop into sadness as well, because that's a little easier to sit and function with and interact with. However, when we go into fight or flight, we're not really taught what's happening when that occurs. So fight or flight is like, all right, I'm either going to spit venom or I'm going to hole up and stuff it down, right? Now, fight or flight, those two are like really on top of each other for most of us. But what we're not realizing is those are our parameters for our expressive range. And this is huge. Our expressive range is predicated on our fight or flight response. Most of us aren't aware of our fight or flight response because it's just running on automatic and we don't take any time to look at it, talk about it in our society, function on it. We're just, right? We just move. And we do something about it because we want to get it over with as soon as possible. Okay, next time it happens, I want you to understand something. This will help. It's going to take a lot of practice, but you're going to start to realize that the spitting venom part is the top end of your range. The fight is the top end of your range. The flight, or the holing up, right? Netflix and no chill, is like try to distract yourself on another level and stuff it, sweep it under the rug, right? These two have a lot of room in between them, and the more that we allow ourselves to feel the tightness, the heaviness, the crappiness that we're experiencing when we go into fight or flight on a physical level, like because emotions are physical. I'm sorry to remind you again, but emotions are physical. They're not the story in your head. They're not. They're the physical sensation down here in your body. And when you can actually take the time to be with it, breathe with it, not try to get it over with, which is what you do for positive. You just allow yourself to be in it. Let yourself downshift, be in your body, be with the emotion. Don't try to get it over with. Let your body have a moment to feel it fully. Then you're going to increase your emotional range. And you're going to become more aware of, when you get angry, where the appropriate level of expression will be, should be, and you can't always guarantee that somebody's going to be able to receive that. So you're going to have to get ready for that as well. However, you're not responsible for that. You're only responsible for yourself and your own emotions. And I hope this helps. If you have any questions about this, this is kind of a new way of functioning and thinking because we don't really teach this stuff. I teach this all the time. I'm starting to develop a course that'll help with all of this. But if you have questions in the meantime, hit me up. Shoot me a little message. Write a little comment. I'll try to do my best to get back to you. Happy mastery. Enjoy it, guys. I hope you get better at this. I really genuinely do.